Oh, so do we smoke weed together on
We do,
camera?
On camera.
That is amazing.
Yes, right?
Welcome to Getting Stoned with Raymond Munns, presented by Stores and Bickle. Please send us a freebie.
So, yeah. Oh, you know what? Let's just get stoned first. Let's do that.
Are we getting stoned first?
Let's do that.
Okay.
I'm still trying to figure out this whole vibe on like what to do. Like, do I like do the intro first and then do, or
do
just
we
like,
do a whole segment of just breaking up the weed with some nice
Yeah.
music
I mean,
and
I don't
like
know. That might be.
close-ups of marijuana
Yeah.
and like
Yeah. Okay. So cheers. Let's
you
just
walking in the door and like doing a Mr. Rogers, like hanging up one
I
sweater,
could change my shoes.
putting on another
I take
sweater.
off my shoes. That'd be good. I mean, it might not be a sweater at this point in time.
A yogi type thing.
A yogi.
Is that a yogi type thing? I don't know.
No idea.
I have no idea. I have no clue.
It's a shawl.
I hope I did not offend any yogis. Okay.
The yogis are all offended.
They probably
already.
are, but they'll just be like, "Ah, namaste."
I'm not gonna stay here. Welcome to Mystic Conversations with Awakening Stoners. Today I'm here with Mr. Raymond Munns, who was was it 2000 or 2001?
2000.
It was 2000 because how I figured that out? I didn't even have to look it up. First of all, we've been friends since we were children. And secondly, because I was pregnant with the twins and I was on bed rest watching you on MTV.
That explains why her children are so cool.
See? My kids are cool because they're not. It's just
not quite sure how that has anything to do with anything.
That really has nothing to do with it. That's fine. We can add you in there. It's fine. That works.
Anyone that was in the womb during 2000, if your mom was watching me, trust me.
You're cool.
You're cool.
You're probably a stoner at this point. I know my girls are. My girls just turned 21 and you were at their birthday party.
Yes, I was the cool.
You were the cool uncle.
The cool uncle
that gave them a bunch of weed. Are we not supposed to say that?
They're 21, so
They're 21.
It is perfectly legal for me to hand them some cannabis. Okay, so I'd won the contest and I'm at the beach house.
The MTV
VJ.
Wanna Be a VJ.
MTV's Want to Be a VJ 3. For anyone before MTV became what it is now, who wanted to be a VJ, I kind of ruined it for them. I was like, once MTV had a taste of me as a contest winner, they were just like, oh,
we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah, like this is it. Like,
Why?
Hard stop.
I thought you were the greatest TV personality ever because you're upbeat and you're hilarious and you just are random.
Well, and that's it. I was talking to another former VJ and it was exactly what I needed.
Right.
I've never been able to find peace, I guess, with my entire experience because I never had anyone who could understand what that experience was like.
Right. Okay.
And anyone I would talk to would always just look at it as, oh, you're bitching and moaning. You were on TV, bro. Like you had a dope job. Like you could do X, Y, Z. Like, and everyone had their own perceptions of what it was like for me.
Right.
And then thinking, because I am a sensitive soul, that I was probably just oversensitive and took things the wrong way.
For sure.
But getting to speak to someone who didn't get their job through a contest, they understood. I had an extremely different experience than everyone who got it traditionally.
Yeah.
And he was like, you got away with so much stuff that none of us would have been able to. We did not have.
What? I want like the details of all the dark stuff that nobody's ever heard before.
Anyone under contract, if they would have had an EP and 2 EPs and now make them the 2 top EPs, come up and pitch to them, hey, we want you to host a show about ecstasy. We're going to do a rave. We'll call it Raving with Ray. It'll make you happy, right? And I'm, oh yeah, I'm eating it up. You got me on the hook.
Yeah.
Raving with Ray. Yes. I am going to have so much fun with this show.
Right.
And we want to see kids buying ecstasy, selling ecstasy, overdosing on ecstasy. And right then and there, I was like, no.
Yeah.
You could ruin some kid's life.
Yeah.
This could be a 4.0 student just wanting to have a weekend off from fucking life.
Yeah.
And enjoy the scene. Because it was a scene. These days, it's all festivals and it's huge and it's commercialized.
Yeah.
And even
even like Burning Man is supposed to be like that now. I've never been to Burning Man, and I always
money
think,
has taken over everything.
Yeah.
And
so something that was so pure as we went into this big commercialized.
And once they said that, I said, no, I can't fucking do this.
Right.
Like, this is fucking bullshit. I'm not a snitch, and I'm not going to ruin someone's life.
I can't believe they actually wanted you to do a show on.
Well,
it
was because Time magazine had just released an expose on ecstasy, where they put out an issue, and on the cover it was all black. It said Time, and then it was just a pill, just boom.
I swear, and it was
that. And this was when, unfortunately, this was when some pills were cut with a lot of shit they shouldn't be.
Right.
And kids were overdosing because there was a lot of heroin in some of those pills.
That's crazy.
And no one knew they were taking heroin. No one had any clue.
Well, now it's fentanyl.
Like, oh God.
Yeah.
But oh.
That's creepy.
So once I said no, that was the beginning of my downfall. I was informed very soon after that I survived my second option. And I was a 20-year-old kid, so I still wasn't sure what they meant by options.
Yeah.
Until I ran it by and found out that in my contest contract, I had options everywhere to fire me constantly.
Oh my God.
So every traditional VJ got in there with a manager, had a much higher salary than me, and they had stability. Right. They had a very set, boom, these are the rules. Yeah. If you get caught doing X, Y, Z, you're fired.
Yeah.
Otherwise, follow the rules, be a good employee, high five, you're going to enjoy life.
Right.
With me, it was essentially, I could be fired for anything at any moment. And that was it. And I was punished quite often by being pulled off the air and told to sit at home for a month. Like, no joke.
Wow.
To where I would beg them, like, can I go to this event here? I was invited to go.
That almost sounds like almost like a Stockholm syndrome. Like they were trying to teach you lessons. Like, we're the boss and you're going to listen to me and you're going to do what we say.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
But it didn't work.
I can't see that ever working with you.
Right. And the reason it didn't work was right before the contest. And it did work in some little way.
Right.
So like I won that contest. I want to say it was either like April 28th or like the first week of May in 2000. I had gotten arrested for possession of LSD before New Year's Eve, 1999.
Wow. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, okay. So we were able to scrape up some money to get an attorney. My family wasn't rich, and we were barely middle class.
Right.
That's something, my parents wouldn't want to admit, but
yeah,
it's no one just sets aside money for in case their kid is snitched out and charged with a felony.
Right.
It's just
agreed.
Yeah,
it's for college and for all.
Yeah, that's not a normal thing. No one's like,
this is her prison fund.
Yeah, let's put aside a legal fund.
Lawyer.
We know at some point our kid's totally gonna screw up and gonna need some money.
If they could go back in time, I'm sure there would be a fund for that.
But. Oh dear God. Oh dear God. If I could go back in time, I'd be like, tell your parents instead of presents to start a savings account right now.
Oh my God.
I want you to contact these two people right here. They will be your future attorneys.
What the hell? Oh my God, you cracked me up.
Take them snacks. They need to pass that bar exam.
Take them snacks and a lot of the good weed.
Yeah. Well, actually, they told me, they were like, you need to cut back on the weed. We get it. And I was like, what? And they're like, we both used to smoke weed going through law school. And I was like,
oh my God.
Oh my God. Like, what? And they were like, yes, because if you get drunk, you have a hangover.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah. They're like, so you'd be amazed at how many people in law school either go with cocaine or weed.
Screw that.
They're like, you're either doing one or the other.
Oh my God.
And my lawyers happen to be the guys that did the weed.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. I would not want the cocaine lawyers. Sorry.
I don't know. I kind of wish I would have had one cocaine lawyer and one weed lawyer.
A little bit of an upper and
just a little bit of, One guy would go in and be like, look, Your Honor, my client doesn't deserve this sort of punishment. And the other guy would be like, come on, man.
Oh my God.
Why? Oh.
You can't do this to him.
Oh
my God. That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah. And,
That's awesome.
So I gotten in trouble. So I was going through that. And I couldn't break every rule in the book. There were some rules I knew were untouchable. that if I went too off script when we were live and went directly against them,
right,
that I was done. And I needed that job so I could afford my legal team.
right.
But I also knew deep inside that if they wanted to fire me, they would have fired me.
Right.
I wasn't that good. There was, at first, I had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was joking around with the guy I told you about from MTV that I met up with. My very first appearance, I walked up. I had like a visor on. My hair was all bleached, and I was holding my mic like this the whole time.
Oh my God.
And I was like, "Yo, what's up, guys? I'm Raymond Munns, and woo!"
You were trying to do the. It's almost like that kind of gangsta, like.
Yeah. It's like I was holding a knife.
Yeah.
And
the
shooting
sideways.
Yeah. I was just waiting for my groupies to hop out the back and be like, "Sup?" And be like,
"Oh my God."
Yeah. Oh my God, I actually had groupies. That's weird.
That's weird
so
to me
weird.
because we grew up like as brother and sister in the dojo. So we did taekwondo.
She used to whoop my ass. She's
Stop
being a little too kind here.
That's not true. Oh my goodness. We had fun though. And I think, but majority of the time, like I was saying, we didn't really have conversation. We just like, we hung out with the same people at school, but it was like, you hung out with the guys and I hung out with the girls, right?
Yes.
So we didn't really talk a whole hell of a lot like in school. It was more like, you know, we went to the dojo and we were really close, but it's like we didn't have verbiage. We just beat the shit out of each other, and then it was like, cool, we're good because, you know, we had that kind of thing where it was like, we're good. We just beat the shit out of each other, and then, you know, all is well.
And this will be vulgar, and I hope you don't take this like in the wrong way because you're definitely cis status, so I don't know.
Right.
I wonder if that's because subconsciously it was like, I'm wearing a cup and I'm running around, so I'm not going to get this hormonal boner for no reason. So I can actually interact with this chick and not be horrified that biology will happen. And I'll be like, oh my God, I don't have a binder on me to cover up. What is going on?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've heard, like, Anthony always tells me that, like in the middle of the, you know, class or whatever. And it was always like, he would be sitting there nicely and, you know, nobody's bugging him. And then all of a sudden it would, whoop, and then they'd ask you to like come up to the board.
And it's not like you're even thinking about anything. God,
yeah.
Like,
yeah, Anthony's told me that a million times over, so I get it.
I could be sitting there totally listening to the teacher like, okay, so this is the algebra form. All right. Why do I have a boner?
I fucking hate algebra.
Yeah, like, does math turn me on? What is going on here?
What's happening?
Although as an adult, I've never had a partner say anything in algebraic like terms.
And you get excited.
So maybe the next time I get a little freaky, I'll be like, scream some equations out to me, baby.
The Fibonacci sequence. Tell me what pi is.
Solve for the variable.
Oh my God. I swear. And now that we actually do talk, it's like random just bullshit, and we're usually stoned and giggling about everything. So, I mean, there's that.
Or I'm calling her crying. She's once again being way too kind. Like,
stop it.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's all right. Well, you're an empath. So let's talk about that. Because, and we've gone off on tangents already. You know this, right? Like we were in the middle of this MTV story, so we got to get back to that.
Let's.
But, yes, please. But the whole purpose of this is to let everybody know, like, you're a total empath.
Yeah.
So you can feel what other people feel.
Yes.
Okay. And so I want to hear about your MTV experience. And then, like we were talking about the other day, I want you to talk about, if you would like to.
Oh, I'm cool with all of it.
How that made you feel knowing that everybody else lost. Because that was pretty deep.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about the MTV experience, because I want to hear all that.
All right. So
manifestation. We got to hear about the story of how you manifested.
So
like you totally manifested it.
All right. So we'll press rewind just a tiny bit.
Yes.
I'd say very close to my 20th birthday. So I'm sitting there as a 20-year-old kid trying to figure out what to do. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at 6 to 65 years. My lawyer has already told me that no matter what, he is going to do his best to just slow the process down. So that worst case scenario, I'll still be out and about until I actually have to go to prison. And it's because it was a possession charge. And luckily they weren't able to get me with distribution. And the statute of limitations has passed and I've already been charged with stuff. So I can talk about it very comfortably. To where I was involved in that type of stuff. It's not something I want to elaborate on. It's not like
clearly you're not into that stuff now. That was as a kid.
I was a 20-year-old kid.
Except for weed, but weed is not a drug.
Yes.
Yeah. Weed is a medicine.
But coffee is a hell of a drug.
Fuck your couch.
I love
coffee.
I will kill someone over coffee. I will not kill them over weed.
That's
like, oh, no weed? I'm good.
No coffee? That's almost going back to like the weed, or the weed lawyer and the cocaine lawyer.
Oh God! So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, there's got to be a way I can do something to afford a legal team so I don't go to prison.
Right.
Because my only other choice was to snitch.
Mm-hmm. Right. You're not a snitch.
And my entire circle was involved with things, and that's a hard sell.
Yeah.
Especially for a guy like me.
Yeah.
That's a hard sell. Yeah. So I have to give you my entire circle and then I get to walk? That doesn't seem cool.
Yeah.
Like, because that guy's in some shit and he didn't get caught.
Yeah.
He's doing some shit, he didn't get caught. I'm doing some shit and I got snitched out on, which led me to being caught, but I'm here.
Yeah.
And, even my lawyers had a good talk about it with me where they explained the financial aspects of it. And then at the very end of it, my head attorney, Richard Korecki, who passed away a few years ago, gave me a big ass hug.
Nice.
He was like, "You're a good fucking dude."
Nice.
He was like, a lot of people like looking at this sort of time in your financial situation. We ran the discovery. You were snitched.
Yeah.
Would have no issues just continuing that circle and just not accepting responsibility. And I was like, look, man, like, I did it. I made a lot of money. Like, I enjoyed it. I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't me. Like, it was mine. That was my fucking shit. Any day of the week. That was mine.
Right.
And you got me, coppers. Although the arrest was highly flawed, which would have given me a very tiny chance in a trial. Very tiny, but the chance was there.
It was there. So you're telling me there's a chance. I got to get cozy.
And so all that happens, and then I go back home, and I'm just like in a weird place.
Right.
And I used to watch MTV a lot just as background. Turn it on.
When it was actually music.
Yes, when it was just music videos and like TRL was starting to take off and but that was it, so I would hear Carson's voice in the background announcing videos. But it's not like I was glued to the TV. In the years previous, they'd had an MTV's Want to Be a VJ contest. Mm-hmm. Jesse Camp won one, Thalia DaCosta won the second one. I'm sitting there and suddenly I look up because the music had stopped. And there was it was like a neon turquoise type blue, about this shade. Uh-huh. And some guys doing Taekwondo.
Oh, wow.
And then it literally.
So it caught your attention.
Yes. And then it cuts. And they're like, MTV's Want to Be a VJ 3. Coming soon. Right? And I'm just like.
See, there's the crackly voice. That's actually a good thing.
What is going on here? I was like, my favorite color.
Yeah.
At the time, I was instructing sparring lessons at Taekwondo. So I'm like, Taekwondo, guys, my favorite color. And this is the contest I wanted to enter every year they did.
Yeah.
Except this time I'm actually getting notice. The other times it was like, airing this week, the contest. This time I was like, what the? And it's giving like the locations of the auditions.
Right.
So I was like, okay, this is a sign. And then I tell my dad, I was like, this is happening. I need to borrow some money to go. And he's like, you're not allowed to leave the state. And I call my attorney and I go, hey, Richard, am I allowed to leave the state? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, well, I saw this thing for a contest. I'm pretty sure I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Like, and I need this. I might go to prison, man. Like, I need this.
Yeah.
And He was like, you know what? I'll cover for you. I'm your attorney. Like that's my job. Go. I mean, he took me under his wing like I was a nephew.
Yeah.
It wasn't the typical lawyer-client relationship.
Yeah.
So I went, and my dad lent me $200 once the lawyer said, you're good to go. Kids, do not do drugs until you're an adult.
Until you're an adult.
So I'm calling up all my friends trying to find someone to go with me.
Right.
No one can go. And then a friend of a friend that I was kind of friends with, but we weren't like tight, you know? He's like, you know what? Screw it, I'll go. Like, this sounds like an adventure. And I was like, awesome. I will supply the drugs. So we went.
I will supply the drugs. So I will.
So we take some, we get some mushrooms, we get a ton of weed, and we head right down I-25. We hit I-70, and we were headed to St. Louis, Missouri. Mm-hmm. And we're totally trashing the car. Kids, don't drive on drugs. And we're like, fuck yeah, east or west. St. Louis is totally to the west.
Oh my God. Oh no.
So we're in the
Mind you, we're in Colorado.
Yeah, so we're in Colorado. We're driving west for 2-3 hours when we realize that we're going the wrong direction.
Yikes. This almost sounds like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
It was just, yeah.
Oh my God.
Kids, don't do drugs and drive.
Yeah, no.
Right. So we turn around, we haul down to St. Louis, we get there. We were probably one of the first 20 people in line. And we made friends with everyone because me and Landon were both very just friendly people.
Right.
And we were all there for the same purpose.
Yeah.
Except for Landon. He was just along for the ride. He was straight up.
I'm just having fun.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to be in line. I'll do the audition. He's like, I'm not trying to win. I don't care. He was like, but I think you're going to win. Awesome. And I want to be here because when we go back, I want to be able to say, I came with you.
Right.
I watched you win. And I was just like, fuck yeah, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
So we hang out, we party all day, get to be friends with people online, and the auditions were the next morning. All right. Around I want to say 1 a.m. or so. We were kind of grimy since we'd been chowing on mushrooms throughout the day.
I can imagine.
And we decided to go to the hotel room that we'd gotten but never used, just so we could shower and at least try and look decent for this audition process. Everyone in line ahead of us and behind us, they're like, go, we'll hold your spot. You're good.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's why you become friends with people.
Yes.
Yes. Talk to everyone.
Friends hold spots in lines.
I feel like this is almost this is definitely not a children's show, but it's got that vibe of okay, look, kids.
Yeah, life lessons with the Mystic Medium.
Nobody
presented by Stores and Bickle.
Nobody wants to do anything that I fucking tell them to do. Even my own children don't do what I tell them to do.
Oh, well, so then we get back. I'm all primed and ready, and I'm still on shrooms. Things are moving,
a lot of things are moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah.
And things that are not moving
are moving.
So I'm trying to get back in line, and she was a real cool lady. She was just doing her job. So I don't want to think that Victoria was doing anything that she shouldn't have been doing. She was enforcing the rules,
Right.
But she was like, no, you left the line. You can't get back in. And I'm just what the, but they said, and then people that were walking by that had just gotten past me because the line entry process had just started literally hollering out for me to be let in.
Wow.
And then it essentially turned into the first 100 something people let him in, to get me into the line, because I was the one. I credit music for this, to tell you the truth. I was the smartest one there. I brought a boombox with batteries.
Yeah. So everybody wanted you to get back in.
I left that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, everyone enjoy. We're going to go to the room. Thank you. Enjoy some music, So I get let back in, and I get seated down, boom. And they were doing the auditions on these train, they call them train cars, rail cars?
Rail
Whatever.
cars, I think.
It's a train.
Yeah, whatever.
So I get in there, see the freaking what I'm supposed to read, and this was it. They don't give you a ton of time.
Yeah.
You just read your cue card / teleprompter, and if they saw something in you, then you have a chance.
Right.
And you got to imagine trying to impress. To my knowledge, I believe there were like 3 or 4 guys that were making the decisions. Or not 3 or 4 guys, but 3 or 4 people making the decision. Right. I apologize. I'm learning. Everyone's learning. I screwed up my read. Because if anyone here has experienced mushrooms and you're sitting there trying to read stuff, it's not always the easiest thing to do.
I don't think I have ever tried that.
Oh, well, with me, I actually...
When I did mushrooms twice when I was a kid, and then I did it as an adult with a shaman. But yeah, like I couldn't even look at somebody's face without it. Like it almost looks like it's like pixelated and everything's like in this. I can't even imagine reading anything.
In my brain, I was laughing my ass off when that was the audition. Because do you remember Mr. Tonoli?
Yes. Yes.
I had to beg him not to announce that I was the fastest reader at Weber Junior High School.
Really?
I could comprehend and read more words per second than anyone in that building from 7th to 9th grade.
That's crazy.
Period. He's like, I want to enter you in these competitions and this, and
you're
this.
Like, no,
and I was like, I just want to be cool and get chicks. Like, I don't know why this is going on.
He didn't want to be a nerd. He wanted to be cool.
I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go get jumped into a gang because I'm a speed reader.
Right.
Like, if anyone finds out about this, my life is
Let me put
just
put your credentials on the gang membership.
Yeah. Speed reader, can do book reports for fellow gang members.
Oh, well, that would be a benefit.
Accounting for any drug deals.
Oh, oh my God. I told you I was a heathen as a child.
Interests, algebra really turns me on.
Algebra. That you didn't know at the time, but now you do.
And as an adult, kids, math is sexy.
Sure. I wish I would have had someone tell me that math was sexy when I was a kid because I hated math. And I still hate math.
I love women that are good at math.
Oh God.
Like, such a turn on. So weird, right?
Yeah, no, not me.
Yeah. Am I a sapiosexual? Is that what that means?
I'm not really sure what that means. I don't know half of the things that come out of your mouth, but I just nod and say yes. That's what I do. I've done that since I was a kid.
I feel like that was just the moment of like.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, continue. So now you were in line. So mushrooms you're trying to read.
So I'm reading.
Right.
And it's literally at that point, I'm like, come on, all I have to do is read.
Okay.
I can read on shrooms. Like, I can do this.
Oh my God.
And I could not.
So what did you do?
I made it about halfway through the read, messed up, but apparently what they were looking for was someone who could mess up and just keep going.
Yeah, and then flow.
With me, I messed up and I just kept going. Because I looked at it, I have this one opportunity, and the minute I shut my mouth, my opportunity's done.
Right.
And then at the end, I laughed. And they told me there were 2 reasons that I made it to the finals. One, I was one of, like 10, 15 people that screwed up and just kept going. They didn't say, oh, I'm sorry. They didn't pause. Blah, blah, blah. It was just like, and because maybe it's because I was tripping or maybe it's because I was animated the whole time.
I would love to see that. Like,
I would love to see that.
That'd be fun.
One of the guys showed footage of me on mushrooms in line dancing with the boombox.
Shut up.
Like, he was like, bro, like while I was working, he's like, I found footage of you in line. And I was like, what? And he like shows it to me. He's like, this was from some stuff I shot because he worked at MTV.
That's cool.
Yeah. He's like, but it was for personal footage. I was just shooting the line, just,
Yeah. Here's the line for the MTV.
That's you. And I was like, that is me. Like,
that's so cool.
Oh my God. I was like, bro, I'm tripping balls right there. I had no clue someone was filming me. Destroy that.
Let it go. And now we're just talking about it openly. Like, yeah. But who cares?
But as soon as the laugh happened, suddenly people rushed in, grabbed me, and boom, took me right to the back. And that's where I met like the decision makers.
Yeah.
And they interviewed me for a few minutes, asked if I had anything crazy going on in my life. And that was like a weird point because it was like, do I admit that I might be on my way to prison? Or do I just kind of admit that? And I did. I omitted that and was just like, nah, like I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I have nothing that prevents me from going to work for you.
Hey, manifestation at its finest.
Yes.
You just made it happen. Like,
Right.
nope, I have faith. Let's roll. That's
Let's do
exactly
this.
what you do. Yep.
And that's when they were like, okay, go back out there and we're going to announce the finalists later today, but we're going to put you in a pool with other finalists from this location. And you may or may not make it to New York. And I'm just like, cool. So I'm going to New York. All right. And like walked out the door. Yeah. And obviously half of that was the shrooms. The other half was me just knowing.
Right.
And it's not from a cocky point of view.
No, that's exactly what manifestation is. Like you have to, it's the knowing. Like
yeah.
I
just knew.
Yeah.
There was something weird that said everything points to this working.
Yes.
And it happened. I'm sitting in the pool. It's me. It's a total of 6 of us. And 2 of us were going to be going to New York. It was me and this girl, Jody. And when they called I couldn't help it. It was a feeling of joy and a feeling of just knowing I was right. I basically collapsed right to my knees. Wow. And then I crawled out of the pool with the help of everyone. And every step I took, I just kept falling. And everyone just kept picking me up, just pushing me forward. And I think that's actually a good like analogy for my life. I fall a lot, but I get up. And my friends always push me forward. But I have to take that step, which is something I do. And I made it up there. You know, and Jody, she had maybe a tear of happiness. I don't know. I don't remember. But I just remember getting up there and seeing the other VJs and just hugging them and just tears just pouring out. I couldn't get any words out. And then they announced that we're going. So I'm like, cool. Like, you know, like,
yeah.
And all my adrenaline had just fully flushed out. Like, and I was just empty at that point and just drained. I go out and they inform me that someone's going to ride in my car home with me.
Oh yeah, to do the filming.
To do some filming.
Right.
To film a package and a follow home package and all that. I don't know what they're talking about. I knew nothing about film and TV. Right. But the minute they said someone with a camera in my car, I did know that I was going to court for some stuff. And we had mushrooms and a lot of weed. And we were under the impression that would really ruin our road trip back home.
And you were underage at the time as well.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm like, no, there's no room. And we just.
There's no room.
Yeah,
You're
like
not coming with me in the car.
No one's coming in the car. And
you can meet me there.
Yeah.
Because they did. Like, I remember the Taekwondo piece.
And that is what happened.
Yeah.
And it was funny because once the camera operator showed up and saw how much weed I smoked, he was just straight up like, is this why there was no room in your car? And I was like,
he's like, there should have been room because I was.
Yeah, yes. He was like, damn it. He was like, I really pushed to ride with you guys because I had a feeling you guys were smoking a lot of weed.
Oh my God.
And I wanted to smoke a lot of weed. And I was just like, bro.
If we would have known that, we would have had you.
You just look kind of like a snitch, so it scared us.
That and you were really paranoid.
Yeah, like, you looked a little snitchy. Like, not trying to be a jerk.
That's so funny.
White guy, mustache, goatee, sunglasses, just a little
that's
snitchy.
Like that's like the stereotypical, like.
Holding a camera. What, do you work for the show Cops?
Yeah, right? Looks like a Unabomber. I don't know.
Yeah, like, bad luck there, bro. Total sweetheart of a human being.
Nice.
Dear God, I hope you don't ever see this because he might take that, you know, personally. He's a very handsome man.
I hope not.
He just looked a little snitchy.
I mean,
so,
that's funny.
Found out he wasn't snitchy. And then obviously we did all the filming. They followed me to, you know, the Taekwondo studio. They followed me up into Horsetooth, into my DJ or my basement where I just gotten all my DJ equipment. And was learning how to DJ.
That's so cool.
Like, and it's amazing, once again, perception. Because
everybody thought you were doing that this whole time.
Everyone thought I was already a DJ once they saw that package. And then I was like a hardcore, like, whoa, that guy must be amazing.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'd had that equipment for like 4 months. I would have been
You're
amazing.
like, thank God I'm
in
at
time.
MTV. There's so many people here that could teach me.
And that is true, and that
is
really
true.
did happen.
That's awesome.
Like, I started to get some masterful instruction from people that knew what they were doing and didn't want to be associated with a guy who didn't. So, hell yeah, they taught me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're like, yes, perfect scenario.
Yes. So then I get there, and it was even weirder because I had asked, after the follow home, they did the main contest. And I'd ask, can I bring someone?
Mm-hmm.
And they said no. So I was just like,
oh,
okay. Are you sure? Like, why can't I bring anyone?
I wonder if that's part of the test. You know what I mean?
Well,
like, can you do this? Are you independent type of thing?
No, it wasn't.
No.
Because everyone else had brought a friend or family. Huh. All that was required was they had to pay for their own flight.
Oh, that's right. You did tell me that.
Yeah.
And they just didn't tell you that.
They failed to inform me of that. Right. So I was there all alone, and that paid off. Like, all of it was just, I can look back and say it was all fate. If I would have had someone there with me, I would not have won.
Right.
I had one magazine in that hotel room, in the bathroom, and I want to say it was Billboard magazine. Mm-hmm. It was Billboard or Rolling Stone.
Yeah, I think you told me it was Rolling Stone a while ago. Yeah.
I read that thing from front to back a million times.
Had to be a reason, huh? Had to be a reason.
And the minute I saw it in there, I was like, I was hyper anxious and paranoid because I'd gotten snitched out.
Right.
B, everything as it happened, I was looking at as like, oh my God, like, this is an important event. Right. Everything here is an important step, and every decision I make right now is going to affect that. So when I saw it, reading it, I was like, there's got to be something in here that's going to be relevant.
Yeah. So
I essentially memorized that entire magazine. There was one article, it was just a teeny tiny little footnote, and it was with like the different live shows that were going on. Mm-hmm. And it talked about Method Man right then and there. Like, so I like Method Man. So I immediately, stuck in my head. We grew up with
Method Man and Redman. And all.
Yeah. So it stuck right in my head. Oh, okay. So that's what Meth is up to right now. Like, he just had a show here, this, and this. Like, all right, cool. The day of the contest comes. And even as I'm walking up into the contest, I'm just like, like, just waiting for something to happen. Nothing happens. I go up, everything's normal, Right. And then right before the actual competition starts, I go, hey, do I have a second to go out and have a cigarette real quick? Like, I am a smoker. Like, I'm super nervous. Like, it'll calm me down. I go, okay, cool. The minute I get outside, someone offers me a joint.
Oh, God.
Just straight up.
Right.
A dude's like, hey, man, like, I work here. Like, you're that kid who won in St. Louis, right? And I was like, yep. And he's like, whips out a joint. He's like, you want to take some pulls before you go on? And because I was so paranoid, I was like, no.
Right.
Like,
what do I say? What do I say?
Yeah. Like, no, not happening. Like, any other time I would have been like, fuck yes.
Right.
Hand me your joint. Like, awesome.
Yeah. But this was a big moment.
Yes.
Right.
And I looked at that as just another test. Like, I may have landed at this scenario on drugs and high. That doesn't mean I needed to proceed that way.
First of all, psychedelics are also not drugs. Drugs are the cocaine you were talking about, and they're like, okay, that's drugs.
I'm old.
Psychedelics are mind altering. I'm not an advocate for doing it every day, by the way. I had to add that in there.
Opinions have obviously changed on these things, and I agree with her.
True.
But back then they were classified as drugs.
Yeah. What was it? Schedule 1?
Just.
I can't even remember. Is Schedule 1 the really bad one? It was like in the same class as heroin.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if it was Schedule 1 or Schedule.
Yeah, 1 is really bad.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Schedule 1 drugs.
Yeah.
Are we right on that?
I don't know if mushrooms are there. I'm pretty sure
they used to be. Now they're like, especially like in Denver, they're
with therapeutic use and everything else.
They're starting to become decriminalized. They're not necessarily legal, but in Denver they're decriminalized. So.
What a trip.
In Colorado, I know. Colorado's always kind of
We're so
right
in like
there.
that trippy generation where we were raised with like believing like everything is bad
Yeah,
just because it's illegal.
that's true. Well,
And then
we
the
were.
laws
It's like
change.
a lot of brainwashing, and these are like tribal people that have done this for centuries, and they're like opening people's minds and like teaching them who they are, and with these psychedelics, and we were taught that they were bad, bad, bad. I mean, in certain situations, they're bad.
I'm so
But,
high, but I'm just getting higher.
I mean, get high as you want to. We're on the mystic conversation. And usually when I have people on, like we just take like a puff or so, like, and then I'm.
Oh, really? It's just like one or two puffs?
I want you to keep going. You just
oh,
do your
okay.
thing.
I was like, oh, geez.
No, God, no. I think this is like even better, but I'm just like, I can't. Like, I wish to God, and I'm such a dork. Like, I wish to God that I could just sit here and just puff a joint the entire time with you, but I'm like, I would be so stoned that I would know what the fuck you're saying.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, because I'm already so stoned.
That's awesome.
And
just you do your thing. You do your thing. But I'm just saying everybody else is like, I'm on mystic conversations with awakening stoners. And like all the stoners that have been on here have been like, no, I'm just going to take a puff. Because I think it's like nervousness, which I understand. But mine is like, I do that randomly. I mean, like when I'm out anyway.
Well, and I'd say there's got to be something about perception there too. Because that's something big that I've been working on personally these days. And that's moments like this can be scary for lots of people.
Right.
Because someone watching right now could watch this and perceive me as someone who does nothing but smoke pot all day long.
Yeah,
and when I smoke
and that's
pot,
so not true.
24/7. I just sit here.
Well, I have this whole series, and so everybody just sees me getting stoned. I mean, it's only with one puff, but I get that, and it's like, no, usually I'm not stoned.
Yeah. so and people can be scared that they're being perceived as something they're not.
Right.
Where with me, and I think this is with a lot of people that have been on air in some aspect, they're so used to being perceived as something they're not.
Mm-hmm.
They either get to the point where they're in full control of how others perceive them, or they throw it all up in the air and go, you know what, I don't care, man. Like, you think I'm that? I got paid for you to see that aspect of me.
That's true.
That was my job. I was allowed to present 10% of my personality, and the other 90% was reserved for private off camera. But guess what? Like, that's cool.
When we were younger too, I don't think I ever got stoned with you.
No, you did not.
When we were younger, because I wasn't. I never even liked it when we were younger.
No, well,
I don't even think there was opportunities for it. Like we would go to parties and stuff, and people would be drinking, but I don't remember like actually sitting down with you at any point and being like, "Let's get stoned." Ever. We just didn't.
No.
We just beat the shit out of each other in the dojo. Like
that
we grew up
as
brother and sister in the dojo.
Yeah.
And like we hung out, in the same vicinity.
We were the Taekwondo kids.
We were.
But if you were like, okay, tell me something about them, I'd be like, I think her family's rich. I don't know. And she hangs out with all the really cool chicks. I think all of them are rich. I don't know.
And that was so not true as well.
Yeah, I'm like, I just don't know. I'm like, but I know that this one guy is always wearing like Z Cavalieri jeans, and those are really expensive. Oh, Cavarici. There you go.
Oh my God, I haven't. Oh my God.
And those are expensive because my parents won't let me get a pair because we can't afford that shit. Like, and he's got like 8 of them.
That's
and
crazy.
He hangs out with those girls, so I think they're all rich. Yeah, that was about all I knew.
That's funny.
Everyone was rich, and
weird.
I wasn't. So I was like, "Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Why am I talking to them?"
You're such a dork. Okay, continue. So Method Man, I want to hear about the rest of Method Man because I remember watching this. Like I said, I was on bed rest, pregnant with twins. And I remember when he came out and you were like, Method Man. And I was so excited. And didn't he have his son there or something? I remember he had like a sucker.
Yes.
Because I was just like, oh my God, he's so cool.
It was a toothbrush. I'm pretty sure it was a toothbrush.
A toothbrush?
Yes, it was a toothbrush.
It was a sucker.
It was a toothbrush.
That's weird.
Yeah. No, but it was, it's cool.
I mean, I still remember like people.
Keep it clean.
Do you remember like as kids, we used to walk around with pacifiers in our mouth because of what movie was that? Don't
be a menace in LA. Well, whatever.
Don't be a menace to South Central. No.
Yeah, like, no.
I mean, there's that one too, but I can't remember what other one. And this like gangster dude had a pacifier, and it was like the cool thing. I don't know. Anyway, we used to do some weird shit.
Yeah, you could buy those at Claire's and at Hot Topic.
Wow, pacifiers?
Yeah. on chains,
So
and they were
weird.
like the cool pacifiers.
That's the weirdest thing. Okay, continue.
Oh,
Method
all right.
Man. I want to hear Method Man.
So they had a couple segments. It was down to, because there were 6 of us, 2 from Cali, 2 from Missouri, and 2 from either North or South Carolina. And 2 had already gotten the boot. And that's when Method Man came on for the interview segment.
Right.
That was when I knew I was going to win. And I was in last place the whole time.
Oh my God.
Up until I won, every round I was in last place. Like,
that's so weird.
Yeah, if there were sports commentators, they would have been like, and just hanging in there by a thread. Raymond Munns followed up right at the end. We don't know how he's doing it, folks. We don't know.
Mushrooms and a lot of wheat.
Yeah, like look at him on that stage. Like I was sitting there like, with my legs all spread open like this, and then I'm like this. This was my exact.
That's.
And then I'm like, occasionally you see me looking up at everyone else, like face is all pulled in. I got like fat chin going on. Like, yeah, my eyes just keep getting super wide. Like, and anytime anything was asked of me, I would channel like my inner Beavis and Butthead for some reason. And I would be like, yeah. And I'm not good at doing Beavis and Butthead, or that would have paid off. And I would have been like second to last.
But you were dead last.
But I was dead last every round, where it's like, oh, if I was a sports commentator once again,
skimming through,
making it by 2 percentage points. Raymond Munns, oh my God, look at that mic can go up. What's going on?
What is he doing? Oh, the gangsta.
Oh, so then like the Method Man interview happens. The girl in the lead, Shannon, had no clue who Method Man was, and
that I remember that,
yes.
And I remember just thinking, oh my God, he's got this.
Absolutely like, no idea. Lorelai went out, and it was like a very polished, like professional interview.
Right.
Like it was like that girl could have gotten a job for like Hollywood,
right,
and done that segment right there, and it would have fit perfect. Tavares went out. He could have had a hip hop radio show.
Yeah.
And it would have fit perfect. Like that's how good my competitors were.
Right.
Like they didn't suck, you know?
Yeah, of course not.
I was the only one that sucked. Like, because my instant reaction when I saw him was just to like leap with joy.
I remember his reaction was like, what the hell? Yeah. He's like, oh, okay.
Right. And then I remember I immediately asked.
I understand. I kind of did that as a kid too. It's like,
if I could be Ghostface Ray. And be a member of the Wu-Tang Clan. Like, I was like, yeah.
I mean, that would have been crazy.
Come on.
I mean, that would have been really cool.
It would have been amazing.
I would have been really amazing.
I would have been the guy. I would have been like the hype man who can't rap, but would occasionally like jump in on the chorus.
Yeah, I could see you jumping in a lot of things. I don't know if it would be the chorus, but that's fine. Continue.
But like in the interview, like, he totally had my back. And that was when the tide started to change via the viewers. All right.
Absolutely.
And that's when I knew for a fact, I was like, oh shit, I'm going to win. Like, I'm winning this now.
Right.
Like, this is 1000% happening. I was not wrong.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone questions themselves at times, especially when you're starting to hit the climactic moments of your own story.
Absolutely.
And this was definitely one of them, to where I was able to ask about that show he had just done. I could actually spit out like, oh, so what do you do here? Like,
because you read that magazine,
yes.
And you followed him anyway.
Yes.
Right.
But everyone other than the blonde girl Shannon had followed him.
Right.
And knew who he was. So they could ask any generic question.
Yeah.
Oh, blah, 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 blah. What's more impressive?
About what he had just done.
What he had just done. And that's when I could see in his eyes where he was like, oh shit. This kid actually, like, he sucks up here, but he's actually trying and is prepared.
You were real.
Yeah.
And you know, to everybody out there, I'm not joking. This is the real Ray. Like, this is not some, animated cartoon character that he plays once in a while when he's on there. Like, this is really how he acts in real life. I love it.
I'm quite amazing. And,
oh my God.
Hey, ladies.
He's also very, very full of himself, but in a really loving way. Oh my God.
All right, so that happens.
Right.
And then I believe they did like, like we had to then introduce our favorite music video. And that was like another segment. And I introduced, I want to say Duran, was it? No, it wasn't Duran.
I don't remember this
Who
part.
did this song? Anyone at home who can guess it before I say it?
Do you really want? No.
No,
I'm kidding.
It was that song where it starts off with, I want my
MTV.
Yes.
Oh my God, if Anthony was here, he would totally know.
Like, it was the money for nothing, chicks for free.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show what a horny little boy I was.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had put deep thought into that. Like, yeah, we had 24 hours to figure out what video we wanted. This was not like a 5-minute, like,
right.
Oh yeah,
right.
Give me a Tupac video. Like,
hey, Tupac would have been good too.
It would have. Like, Tupac is quite amazing.
Tupac,
I love Tupac. Like, and I've fallen
I'm
into
the hippie
this.
that totally jammed. Well, I mean, back in the day.
Well, we all grew up to Tupac.
Yeah, we totally.
Tupac was probably one of the most influential like artists of our teenage like generation.
Yes, absolutely.
And we
Him
were
and Biggie, for sure.
like the suburban gangster generation. I think like
Yeah,
future
right?
historians will look back and be like, that was the generation where suburban kids that had a good life suddenly became piece of shit gangsters.
Yeah, and that that goes to show how well the media
influences
plays a role
everything
and influences everything. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk about that too.
Oh, that just got a little.
Okay.
Oh.
No, we're talking about the conspiracy theories. Because I pulled him in here like, Ray, we're talking about conspiracy theories. You're a part of it. You're talking about. We're talking about the conspiracy theories.
No, well, okay. So from there, and this is even funnier. Like all of this just adds up, and everyone had their part to play. Because I knew I was going to win, but I wouldn't have won on my own. Right. Like, as of right now, I wouldn't have gone to this if it wasn't for my attorney. I couldn't have gone if it wasn't for my father.
Right.
I would have been too scared to go alone. And someone recognized that and said, I'm coming for the experience. I don't even give a shit.
Right.
And jumped in the car.
The universe was like Raymond Munns.
Yeah. There were the people in line. There was the person who forgot to tell me that someone could pay to come. Because if they would have, I would have just been running out experience in New York like everyone else who was there. They were experiencing Times Square.
But you had time to focus.
Yes.
At that point. Like, yes, I mean, you were messing around, having a good old time, and that got you there on your creative, ability. But then you kind of needed that.
And Mr. Tonoli, God bless that man.
Mr. Tonoli.
For never telling my secret.
For never telling my secret that I could actually read fast.
Yeah, fast and comprehend it.
That just reminded me of like, what is this? A school for ants? I don't know why. I just totally got that image in my head.
So then, oh my Lord.
You better put that back on.
Oi.
You got it. There we go. You're sitting on it.
So then, right before we had started filming, actually, the night before, I was on the phone with some friends in Fort Collins. One of them was this chick, Kelly.
Uh-huh.
And she was just giving me like a pep talk. Because I was like, oh, like I've met my competitors. Like, they're all good. Like, they have better voices than me. They dress better than me. Like, they're better looking than me. Like, they actually know, like some of these people are in college and like taking communications and journalism. And, like, they know what's up, Yeah. And then I was like, and there's this girl. Because I, right off the bat, looked at Shannon as my #1 competitor.
Right.
And it was just because I looked at it as we fit a mold. Mm-hmm. I was like, she fit the mold of the perfect American, like, cheerleader TV host type chick, whatever. And I was the exact counterpoint to her.
For sure.
Like, she was very prim and proper. I was someone who could be prim and proper, but preferred to just be like, yo, dude, like, can we just calm down? Or do I have to like whoop you? Where she, like
Keanu Reeves.
Like, what do we do?
Oh my God.
Like,
Oh my God.
So Kelly tells me, she was like, and she was just like venting. Where she was like, oh God, like, we don't need another stereotypical Barbie doll on TV.
Okay, yeah, that's where that came from.
That line stuck in my head. So then, and it's important because at the very end, when I keep squeezing through and I'm looking around like, how am I making it?
Yes.
Because after Method Man, Lorelai got kicked. And that was surprising to me because Lorelai had the most polished interview out of all of us.
Right.
Boom. The viewers voted her off. I'm still there. Now it's me, Tavares, and Shannon.
Right.
I'm like, holy, like, all right, it's happening. This is going on.
Yeah.
And then the minute Tavares gets kicked, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. It's happening. I'm winning this fucking shit. This is my fucking opportunity. And it's been, and for her, it was a career and a dream come true. For me, it was a career, a dream come true, and a way for me to not go to prison.
Yeah. That was a huge turn of events on that life. That was like a lifeline right there.
It was. Without that, I'm pretty positive I'd still be in prison. If it wasn't for MTV, I would have been in prison. We do a debate style thing where they put the two of us and we're standing there with buzzers and they ask us questions. And then, no, there were no buzzers on this one. I apologize. That was a different segment. But they ask us questions and we got to answer. I remember one was, if you could have any celebrity be the president of the United States, who would it be? She responded, Will Smith, because Will Smith comes off as such a like genuine guy and this, and that. And my response is the same as it was back then. I don't want some random celebrity running my country. I want someone who's educated in not just politics, but world events, the economy, history. Like I want someone who's focused their life on learning things that don't involve entertaining us.
Absolutely.
You know, like
perfect response.
Will Smith became an
yeah.
Will Smith, amazing entertainer. He studied it. He practiced it. You know, the best generals out there, they studied it. They practiced it.
Right.
So I wanted, you know, and that was my answer. I got some cheers from the audience. And then, but I could see, because we could see a monitor with the votes on it. And I could see
oh my God, of course they'd put that up there to intimidate the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I can see that I'm creeping up throughout that segment.
Right.
That the lead was getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And then the last question was, you know, if, like, why should they not vote for the other person?
Yep. And Kelly came right back into your head.
Yeah. And I even apologized because you know me. I know it. I don't like to rip people. It's not my thing. That's a last strategy for me.
Right.
And I felt bad even in that moment, knowing that I was about to fucking rip her apart. Because I know if I was in her position, that would be my biggest like inner fear of, am I just a typical this? Right. You know, do I fit that mold?
Right.
But I did it. In my response, it was Kelly's words right out my mouth. And I even said it, I was like, I'm sorry, Shannon, but I don't think we need, like, I don't think MTV or the world needs any more stereotypical Barbie dolls on TV. Like, just, the whole crowd went
crazy.
Freaking nuts.
Yeah.
And then I immediately saw my numbers start going up. And I was like, what the, like, and the look on her face.
I mean, I remember that. That was the moment.
I knew I hit her in the most sensitive spot I could have.
And how did that make you feel? Because you're an empath.
Not good at all.
Right.
You know? But at the same time, I mean, imagine the inner conflict.
Yeah.
Because right then, the way the crowd reacted, I knew I'd won.
And you're 20 years old at that point, too. Like, come on.
My dream was mine now.
Right.
Boom. Show's done. They're going to announce the winner after the commercial break. Comes back. I'm the winner. They come out with a check. I humped the hell out of that check. I rode that check like a horse.
I made that check my bitch.
It was. And she was a lovely one.
Oh, my God. She was a lovely one.
But the paper cuts were.
Oh, yeah.
It was vicious.
We don't want to see the war wounds. Oh my God. That's fucking hilarious.
And you can see it. Like, I'm pretty sure I ran up and gave Carson a hug, and like, I'll have to look at it on the tape. And he's got this look on his face, like, get this guy off of me. Like what is going on?
Please get him off of me.
is this man humping a check right now? He is definitely humping a check right now. And then after that moment, and I didn't find this out till months later, they were so confident that she was going to win. It was a mad scramble during that commercial break to find the spare check they had in case something went wrong to the original.
Right, because they had already put her name on it.
They'd put her name on it the segment before.
Wow.
Because they did not think there was a chance in hell
Right.
that I would, the guy that was in last place squeaking through every round.
Yes.
I mean, every round they were thinking, how did he just, what?
But this should be a lesson, kids, on not to give up ever. Ever. Here we go.
Especially if you're on mushrooms.
Okay, listen, there's his segment and there's mine that's like, make sure you're with a shaman and you're with like a, you know, you've got to like do this whole inner loving yourself and figuring out who you are thing. And he's like, let's just get fucked up on mushrooms.
But no, like on a deeper point, that is one of those things where you can't let anything bring you down when you're competing. And that was something I'd learned in martial arts, where if you lose the head game, you're going to lose the competition.
Right.
You know, you're going to get kicked hard. It's going to hurt. Anyone who says it doesn't hurt when you get hit,
oh yeah,
they're lying. Like even now I train. If you were to punch me in the face with a boxing glove on, it would hurt.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, that didn't hurt. Like,
yeah.
No, it hurts.
That's
like
ego for sure.
Yeah.
Ego.
But it also teaches you more quickly you know, it improves you.
Yeah.
You've learned how to take the hit again. B, yeah. You've gotten a very important lesson of that hurts.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get out of the way or block it or be a moron and just stand in front of it and learn how to take the pain.
Yeah. No, that's the dumbest way to do it. Why would you do that?
But remember, guys, toxic masculinity, it's a hell of a drug.
Testosterone is definitely a hell of a drug. But then again, so is estrogen. Depends on, you know, pick your poison.
So at that point, like, I won that thing. And
right. And you never, like, the entire time you knew you were going to win.
Oh, I knew 10,000%. The second I saw that commercial, the darkest moments in my life have been because I allowed my ego to act like a little baby and to get pissed off at the universe. And I guess this is an appropriate setting to discuss that.
Absolutely.
Because normally this is the type of stuff I don't like to discuss. I'm very private when it comes to my relationships with my spirituality and things.
Right.
But everything I've ever truly prayed for and craved and desired has always come true. Whether that's just me subconsciously focusing myself towards that goal, or whether that's different energies and stuff chiming in and understanding, hey, he'll do right once he gets it.
Right.
And deciding, let's do this. Let's form this partnership and let's do it. But I'm also weird because I always make promises to the universe that I keep. If I say, hey, like, give me this, I will give you this. I always follow through and it's always worked. But it's always positive stuff. Like with the MTV thing, I was begging for a way out. I was begging for a way to keep from going to prison. And I promised the universe I would change. I would stop being an asshole. I would be more considerate. And I would help in any way I could at any time.
Yeah.
And that is who I became.
You've always been that way, though.
But it was different because it was always with friends.
True. Okay.
Or with people I pitied, like a homeless person.
Right.
And just after that, it became everyone. Like I could hate someone and help them and do it happily.
Yeah.
Because I could, at that point, I always reminded myself I was given a huge gift. Like not only, and I accepted the fact that I was there, not just because I was, you know, lucky or the universe wanted me there, but there were a lot of little cogs that got me there.
Yeah.
Like I found out after the fact that every employee at Ultimate Electronics, where I used to work as a TV delivery guy, they basically shut the store down and sat there on every store computer
Wow.
voting for me over and
That's
over
cool.
again.
That's really cool.
Yeah, where everyone took time off and just vote
Yeah.
for that entire show.
That's cool.
And I found out from people all across the states, like that different groups of people I just encountered along my life saw me and were like, "What the vote now." Vote. Like,
I was sitting on bed rest, so I was voting.
Yeah, like, and I was always very aware of it and very appreciative. So even if you were someone I might not like, you might have voted for me.
True.
So I was very thankful for everyone I encountered and everyone I met. And if you wanted my autograph and I was busy, or you just wanted a second of my time and I was busy, or if you straight up walked up to me and said, "Hey, here's my demo. Can you hand it to someone who can do something with it?"
Right.
I always did. Like every demo I got went to an A&R guy or someone at MTV that I thought could do something with it.
That's
you know,
cool.
Like everyone who asked me for, and if they knew back then, I would have gotten in trouble for it. But anyone who actually asked me, like, "Hey, can I come on TRL? Like, can you give me tickets? Like, can you give me a tour of the studio, like for my kids or this or that?"
Right.
Boom, done. And they'd be like, "Well, that was easy."
Why didn't I know that?
Yeah. And I'd always be like, "If anyone asks, you've known me for a very long time."
I mean, I would have had 2 babies at that point in time. I was like, "Here, Ray, take this one. I'll take this one. We're going to TRL."
Yeah.
The kids were on TRL.
It was.
And now I'm all anti-media. Oh, man. Okay, so now I also want to ask you about that. We've got to get into the media and how they influence. Okay, so we were talking about influencing.
Oh my God, can we take a quick smoke break?
Yes, actually, I have to take a pee break too. I'll edit that out.
Okay, edit this out.
Okay, wait.
This is so much fun.
Okay. Right? Oh, shit. I'm totally hooked up. Here we go.
Sweet, we have 1 hour.